what I've learned through this process is that the unique, multifaceted life that a veterinarian lives.
Mm-hmm.
You think about in our discussions, 1 minute a veterinarian is seeing a cute little puppy that, nobody could resist.
Mm-hmm.
And the next minute he might be seeing someone that's bringing in an 18-year-old dog that's not doing well.
Right.
And, to have to make that transition 15 times a day. That's just, you don't think about that when you're walking in. You're thinking about only your dog, but you think about that with what veterinarians are faced with.
That is Becky Godchaux, an animal lover with a passion for helping veterinary colleagues. And this is the VIN Foundation's Veterinary Pulse podcast. I'm Jordan Ben-Shia, VIN Foundation's Executive Director. Join me as we talk with veterinary colleagues about critical topics and share stories. Stories that connect us as humans, as animals, as a veterinary community. This podcast is made possible by individuals like you who donate to the VIN Foundation. Thank you. Please check the episode notes for links and information mentioned. Today's episode guest is Becky Godchaux. She is the generous animal lover and creator of the Mike Dunn DVM Veterinary Student Scholarship. Welcome, Becky.
Thanks, Jordan. Exciting day yesterday, and can't believe we've gotten this far with it.
I know. This has been a long time coming. We've had a lot of conversations.
Yeah, everybody keeps asking me, how long has this process taken? And it's just been such an ongoing process. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
I don't remember when we had our first conversation.
We had our first conversation at the end of last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
And then just bit by bit, I think a lot of it is this is a really big decision, and this is a huge amount of generosity and working through the details and the conversations and the discussions and finding out what's the best way to do this, what's the best way for your generosity to have the greatest impact, and understanding that this is the first cohort and seeing how it goes and knowing that there'll be lessons that we learn.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, let's dive into your story, Becky, because I love your story. I love stories in general. That's what this podcast is all about. So let's start with, how did your love for animals start?
I don't know. I think I was just born with it. Always grew up with animals in our house. We had anything from dogs and cats to deer, raccoon, flying squirrels, rabbits, you name it. I've always been a big animal lover. I think my love for dogs came when I received as a gift from my uncle a little poodle. I was about 9 years old, and I would get that little dog all dressed up and had a doll bed for it to sleep in, and it could sleep in my bed, and it was like my baby doll, but it was my dog.
And so have you had dogs nonstop since then?
Absolutely. Never been without.
Wow. And always just one dog, or have you had multiple?
Multiple dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Rarely just one dog. I think when I was young, it was just that. We had other dogs in the household, but that was my dog. Mm-hmm. But in my adult life, I've always had at least two. Mm-hmm. And sometimes three.
And when did you first meet Dr. Mike Dunn?
I met him shortly after I moved here. And I moved here in 1998. So I'd say probably by the year 2000, I was using him as my vet.
Mm-hmm. And what is it about your experience with him that had you enjoying going to see him?
It's just he's so easily approachable.
Mm-hmm.
And after going to him for a while, you begin to feel like he's almost like your friend. You chat with him about his children. He asks me about where I'm traveling to next. It's not just the dogs. But with my dogs, I feel like they're getting the very best care without it being overdone.
Mm-hmm.
He knows the dogs, he knows your animals, he knows their names. He has a lot of compassion.
Yeah.
I've had to put down several dogs, and that's just never an easy thing.
Right.
But he made it as easy as it can be.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you've probably had, because you've had animals your whole life, you've probably met a lot of veterinarians.
Yes, I have. And actually, that gives me even a bigger appreciation of what Mike Dunn does. It's like having the same doctor over and over and over again.
Right. And there's that history there, right?
Correct. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
So where did the idea for this veterinary student scholarship come from?
It's difficult to get an appointment with Dr. Dunn unless it's an emergency. And and just in talking with him, he said how hard it is to get someone else into his practice because of the amount of debt that students have coming out of veterinary school. And I think from that conversation, I said, well, wouldn't that be a fun idea to do? Um,
Yeah.
create a veterinarian scholarship.
Yeah. As an animal lover, what do you see as the connection between your appreciation and love for animals and veterinary medicine?
Well, my dogs are only as happy as they are healthy, and they are healthy because we get good veterinary care.
That's the mother lode, right?
Yep, that's
That's the
it.
goodness right there. I feel the same way
Yeah,
with my animals and my dog.
yeah.
What made you choose the VIN Foundation to partner with for this scholarship?
Well, I've done a lot of other research on my own, kind of trying to figure out how to create the scholarship,
Mm-hmm.
and was beginning to get a bit frustrated with the whole process when I ran into a neighbor of mine who's a retired veterinarian and suggested that I call Vin Foundation. And that was late last year when I met you all. And you've just made the process extremely exciting and fun. I feel like I'm in very good hands.
Yay. Well, we
Yeah,
want the most important thing is that you feel that your generosity is being honored and valued and cared for and
absolutely.
and that it's
Yeah.
being used in the way that you want.
Yes.
But many people have ideas. Many people have big ideas all the time, and for multiple reasons it doesn't come to fruition. So what was it, or what is it in you, do you think, that was willing or motivated you to take this bold next step to see it through?
I think in finding the Venn Foundation and finding the structure that I was comfortable with in
Mm-hmm.
creating this, that I was going to have some control of how this was going to work, and that the Venn Foundation has that structure and the wide breadth of people and experts to make this truly successful scholarship fund.
I have great hopes, and I think that just based on the reaction that we're getting so far, I completely know that it will be. I think it's an extremely generous scholarship, and one that is especially unique, coming from somebody that's an animal lover that wants to support the veterinary profession. And I see that as really exciting for our veterinary colleagues.
Yep, I hope so. Because I will continue to have dogs.
You will continue to have dogs, and so you want to continue to have veterinarians that can care for your dogs.
Correct, correct.
Do you see this scholarship as a way to continue your love for dogs with your legacy?
Yes, absolutely. I think in some of our conversations that we've had in getting to this point, my nephew mentioned that, yeah, we know Aunt Beck where she was and what she was doing by what dog she had, and that was
Uh,
always meant a lot to me. That was kind of cute. I'm not known for my cooking or my dressing or anything like that, but known for my dogs.
yeah. And as we know, all dogs are so different, right?
They
And they
are. They are
have,
their own little quirkinesses, and
yeah. And so that's a wonderful way to think about it. I love that from your
yeah,
nephew.
yeah.
Where do you hope this scholarship will be a year from now?
in full swing, that we'll have 2 veterinarians in school and be looking for 2 more.
I love it. Is there a message you want to share with people that are just huge animal fans and animal lovers?
I think in thinking about that question, it's what I've learned through this process is that the unique, multifaceted life that a veterinarian lives.
Mm-hmm.
You think about, in our discussions, 1 minute a veterinarian is seeing a cute little puppy that, nobody could resist.
Mm-hmm.
And the next minute he might be seeing someone that's bringing in an 18-year-old dog that's not doing well.
Right.
And, to have to make that transition 15 times a day. You don't think about that when you're walking in. You're thinking about only your dog, but you think about that with what veterinarians are faced with. The grace that Mike Dunn shows in doing that is what motivated me in wanting to name this scholarship for him.
Becky, that's beautifully put. Is there anything else that you want to leave our audience with today?
I think that's about, we've covered a lot there, and I'm excited to get this underway.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Becky. Thank you again for your generosity, for your support, your grace through all of it, and for really wanting to help and support veterinary colleagues. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you and the Venn Foundation. You've made this a fun process. I've really enjoyed doing it, and I've got confidence in everything that's going out there.
Wonderful. Well, I look forward to many wonderful, happy new veterinarians starting because
Yay.
of it. Yay! Thank you, Becky.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Veterinary Pulse. Please check the episode notes for additional information referenced in the podcast. If you enjoyed this podcast, please follow, subscribe, and share a review. We welcome feedback and hope you will tune in again. You can find out more about the VIN Foundation through our website, vinfoundation.org, and our social media channels. Thank you for being here. Be well.